Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome into Dom Time. Talking tonight about the Philadelphia Public Schools making a good bit of news by installing today condom dispensers in some schools and others to follow, where kids as young as 14 without parental permission of any sort can go to the nurse's office and essentially take whatever condoms they think they may need. Let's go to some of the callers. Michelle in West Philly, you're next on Dom Time. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Well, I personally feel that there should be condoms in the school. I don't give my son condoms or buy them for him, but I have taught him and told him that if he needs condoms to go to the school and also go to Planned Parenthood, because not only is that he can get someone pregnant, but there's diseases out there.
Well, why would you as the mom then not take him and get condoms?
Well, because of my religious background, my religious beliefs, I don't believe that he should be having sex without.
Oh, well, wait a minute there, Michelle. That's so right. You don't believe he should be having sex, so you want the schools to jump. Come on, Natasha, you see the dilemma here. Michelle's a perfect example. She's right. She knows as a mom she's not putting condoms in the stocking. Is that a good mom, putting condoms in the stocking?
Well, it's almost a responsible mother. I don't think any mother or father in their heart of hearts wants their child to have sex. Let's understand that. But the reality, once again, if her son is having sex, you know, what is she to do? Let him just, you know, not, of course, educate him, but is she to just turn him loose and not, you know, he's going to do it, apparently.
But she's letting the school jump in here and do it without her guidance around it.
Well, I think that probably takes the pressure and the responsibility off of her, maybe. But I think that's her job, of course, as a mother, to take care of educating her son about the proper.
James Wilson, when I look at most of these schools, most of the schools that I've seen, almost all of them are in minority neighborhoods. And I don't have the statistics of every single one. This has come up before. Is there a bit of profiling or stereotyping that you think goes on here? Because you speak in a lot of schools, in a lot of neighborhoods.
I mean, I agree. I mean, if these same dispensers were in other neighborhoods, then fine. But because they're in our neighborhoods that are notorious for these things, it's almost like the government or whoever's putting this thing together is like Sweet Brown on YouTube eloquently said, ain't nobody got time for that. What she's doing, I mean, what we're doing is we're telling our kids, we don't really care about you. Just go watch your TV, go do this, and, you know, whatever.
Could it be poverty? Could it be the issue of poverty? That, you know, because these kids in these neighborhoods, I mean, they don't have the resources, or will they spend the resources on condoms?
Well, I think that goes down to the actual structure of our society, of our families, and the schools. I mean, we're putting money into condom machines, but how come money's not being put into education? There are tons of organizations that are out there teaching. One that I know of, Amnion Crisis Pregnancy Center, the Hope Center, that actually teach not just sex, but sex education, like what really goes into having sex.
I want to talk about that, the effectiveness of it, but we have Greg calling in. Greg, you're on Dom Time. Thanks for calling us tonight.
Hi, Dom. How are you?
Good, Greg.
Good. I kind of agree with Natasha from the standpoint. I do agree that most of us don't want our children to have sex, and we want to safeguard them. And I, as well, from a religious standpoint, disagree with premarital sex. But I liken it almost to giving a kid a gun to go out into the community and shoot someone else if you don't give him the tools to protect himself.
All right, well, Greg, let me stop you and ask you again. That's fine, but why don't you do it then?
Well, that is my personal belief. I think all of this should take place in the home, but unfortunately, sometimes based upon the background of some of the kids, they're not going to get it in the home.
But you sound like a responsible guy, though. Why not take your son and get him condoms then?
Well, that's actually what I would do, and there would be a lot of counseling, and this would be a last resort thing, and I would let them know that I don't condone it. But at the same time, if another kid didn't have a father like me, and he went out and had sex with a young lady, now he's putting that young girl at risk.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Greg, very much. Natasha, I asked you to react to this. The CDC, and I'm reading what they say in this is what my major argument against this is, says only consistent and correct use of a condom will reduce but not eliminate the risk of STDs. The words consistent and correct, I taught high school for 15 years. Does that sound like it goes with high school kids?
Well, I mean, the thing is, we all know that our kids, once again, our kids have access to so much information. So if kids, you can YouTube anything. If a kid wants to know how to put on a condom, they already know how to do that.
No, I'm talking about effectiveness, though. Under battlefield conditions with 14-year-olds, I'm just imagining this. We're not in a laboratory or we're not adults.
Kids know, but I do believe they know.
You think they know?
They know.
You think they can effectively do
absolutely.
this? It's not a flawed policy.
And there apparently will be training that will go into place for the nurses that will be able to provide the education. But once again, kids can YouTube anything. So if you really want to know and really want to be responsible, will they? I don't know. But that's also where the parents come in. I don't think that we should just pour these condoms in and the parents just take a hands-off approach.
You're against the dispensers then?
What I'm saying with the dispensers, I think the parents ought to play a part in this with the school district.
I mean, we've had two parents here that both say for religious reasons they can't do it.
Right.
But they are allowing the school to do it.
And again, I'm of the same mind that I don't want to just turn my child over and say, here, go to school. They're going to give out condoms. But the reality, once again, is, of course, I think all parents are on the same page. No parent that I know of wants their child to have sex.
All right, 866-472-8868 gets you to me here at Dom Time. 866-472-8868. Haven't heard anybody make moral arguments tonight, but it seems to me that, James, I will ask you, the studies that we've taken a look at don't seem to indicate that there's more sex if these kids are given condoms in school. There's several studies that seem to indicate that. So what are we giving up then if we're giving out kids a condom dispenser in the Philadelphia Public Schools today?
What do you mean, what are we giving up, Dom?
Yeah, on the one side, we're stopping STDs or taking a shot at doing that. What are we giving up, though? I believe life's always a trade-off here. What do you think we're giving up? If there's no more sex, are we giving up anything?
Well, I mean, I think that, like I mentioned earlier, the STDs that's really the tip of the iceberg. There are other issues that go inside of that. One of the things that we're giving up is now, what about the pressure? Like, what are we going to do with these condoms? And now, is it going to be a condom social class? What happens to the kids who take the condoms out of the dispenser and now are trying to sell them? Or what about the pressure that the students are going to have to feel like, oh, well, I don't have that many condoms. I have more than you. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we're giving up, we're actually perpetuating the system that I talked about.
All right, we'll get Natasha's response coming up and more calls. 866-472-8868. Dom Time. Who's responsible here? You heard from two responsible parents, but they don't want to give the condoms themselves. More straight ahead on Dom Time.